Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So as you can see, I'm over here in the event store. Yeah, that event populated today, again, for the third time. Spend your little triple coins or whatever the hell they're calling them. So, probably the best time to do an event store video. Not that there's a whole lot that has changed, but there are certain people that ask every time. Resources, materials, don't even worry about that bucket. Go to special currency bucket. There's not really a whole lot in here. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Some of the stuff, if you really want it and you're okay with the exchange rate, by all means get it. I say there's only one thing really worth getting, just because it has such terrible sourcing elsewhere, and that's the proto catalyst here. Now, to a certain extent, maybe you want some proto matter. I feel like I got a good income of that other places. Tier up catalyst, I think, is very. It's the only good thing I think in this tab, but that is based on my gameplay and not yours. I think the exchange rate's fine. I mean, sure, it'd be nice to have if it was better, but it's not. One thing I do want to caution you on and to not get is this here, this Prime Syndicate XP. I know everybody's going to say, well, I would love more Syndicate XP. But hear me out for a minute. Think about all these events recently that have been paying out how much Syndicate XP? Yeah, let me tell you what this Prime does. This doubles your daily claim. That one singular daily claim from the Syndicate, the Orion Syndicate department. Not all the daily claims you have of Syndicate XP, just that one. What is my daily claim? It's 1,500. Now I get 7,500 because I have the other Prime, not this Prime, the other one that's a plus 400 for a total of plus 500. 5 times 1,500 is 7,500. That's what I get. But again, 1,500, doubling that, only another 1,500. Is that really worth event store currency for you? I say no, but at the same time, it's your account. Cloaking, I say don't worry about cloaking. All these faction ships, they're available in the faction store. I think it's better to spend faction credit on those than event store credit. Now, the two cloaks that you can't get anywhere else, or at least I have no idea where you can get them, is the jellyfish cloaking and the sarcophagus cloaking. Though at the same time, I say you don't need those. The amalgam's in here, but the amalgam cloak is available in the amalgam refinery, which is very useful because it's a very long cloak. These two, the jellyfish and the sarcophagus, I say don't bother. Throwbacks, cosmetics. I mean, I say this every time. Some of them look really neat, and it would be nice to have them, but I'm not giving you a week's worth of event store currency for one stupid little picture that does nothing to my game, except makes this little teeny tiny box at the bottom, at the top left, look a little neater. Refits. Love there to be more refits in here, and to a certain extent there might be some refits in here that I can't see because I have them already. Now, none of the feature refits are in here. Why? I don't know. Best guess, because they're jackasses that refuse to put them in here. Otherwise, why are they not in here? The Cerritos refit is in here. This Valdor refit here, Kelvin Katinga refit, make them look like Dominion War opponents. They look neat, sure. They don't really have that big of a bonus. It's a few reputation percentages with each kill. But again, it's only for the Katinga, the Kelvin, the Valdor. Ships you're not going to have that long. Now these Apex Barrier refits for the Newton, the Pilum, and the Coronar, they sound like they could be worth it. It's only 500 Apex Barrier, which isn't a lot. And they're expensive as shit. What's that? 600,000? Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice to get them. Well, maybe for you, not me, because I'm well past them. Even though I still do use my Billum. It's just, for the price, it's just not that good. It's just not that good. These salvaged things you can get other places. A lot of these you can get other places, or they're really just not that good. This amalgam, I feel like you can get this amalgam refit somewhere else. I can't remember where it is. I don't use my amalgam because I don't really like rating. It's boring. This refit increases the shippability of the amalgam. Cool. Cerritos refit here. This is probably the one thing that I really want. It's just I'm not willing to spend this much event store currency on it. I would love to have another 50% to my Cerritos timer. But I'm not giving you 450,000 for it. It's terrible. Especially when you have reduced how much event store currency we're getting free to play. And you have stopped giving us rare officers, therefore we need more event currency to actually unlock these stupid assholes. Yeah. Hard choices is what that is. Go to ship parts. There's not a lot in here, and I know I keep looking in here and I keep getting mad every time I do, but there are a few things in here that maybe you want just to speed up the progression. Let's say discovery components. Look, if you really want these NX-01 parts, by all means, I say this exchange rate is trash. Like, I could do this limit of 10 and then still not be able to put a component on a ship. So tell me how that's worth it. It's not. But it may be different for you. I don't know. Maybe I'm tier 8 with my NX-01 and you're like tier 3. Because apparently this claim is not going up with tier. No. Borg Cube, no. This claim here for the Gorn Eviscerator. Limit 10 chests, 75,000. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. 10 chests gets you 360,000, or at least would give me 360,000. Again, this one might be going up with tier, but that NX-01 is not. That's not going up at all. This here would for sure get me 2 components. Of course, 2 of 8 components isn't that great. And depending on which components I pick, maybe I'd be able to get a 3rd one. Maybe. So it's not terrible. Would speed up a very lengthy progression of the Gorn Eviscerator. Of course, 2 components every 3 months isn't really that good. But it's an option. I'm not going. I guess I can't say that I'm not going to. I just have to see. It's an option. It's not a great option, but it is an option. All these faction ships in here, don't worry about. Again, they're somewhere else, and you can get them relatively easy. Some of these really old specialty ships, maybe. I mean, a lot of them have sourcing elsewhere. Now you can get a few Franklin or Vidar or Discovery claims here just to kind of speed up the process, right? Because if it takes you 10 weeks of whatever Saturday event is that I barely pay attention to anymore, if you need 10, do 10 of those to get a Vidar or Franklin. You do a few pulls here from an event store, it could drop that down to 6 or 7 weeks a piece, right? So, is there benefit there? Does that get you a Vidar or Franklin sooner? Yes, it would. Is that a good thing? Sure, that'd be a good thing. I'm not telling you to do it, I'm just saying don't overlook that this is an option. they've been putting a few of these ships in some of these territories, and for the most part, they're keeping them, at least they're not having them exclusive to these 3-star. Now, I think the Voyager and the Jellyfish, for some reason, are only 3-star, but the Monavine and the Meridian are 2-star. There's much more 2-star, many more 2-stars, several more 2-star territories than there are 3-star territories. They're a little easier to hold, maybe, just because people really aren't going after them as much as, let's say, a 3-star. So you can get these Meridian blueprints or your Monavine blueprints. And to a certain extent, I don't know how much the Meridian is really worth it. I mean, low protected cargo, okay, high speeds, low protected cargo. Well, it kind of depends on what your server's like. Mine's merging soon, so we'll see how much fun I'm having in a few weeks. Stella here, I do recommend getting a second Stella, but please get the first one for free from the Outlaw Faction store. There's a loop there that you can do. It gets you a free one. If you don't do that and you get one for here from the event store, the code is going to read that you already have one and then won't give you a free one. So get your free one, then come in the event store and get a second one. It is good to have two. There's one to upgrade and to use, and then there's one to upgrade and scrap. Because if you scrap one, if you scrap your biggest Stella, then you no longer have that powerhouse Stella for the Armadas. That's the theory there. Of course, if you don't care and you only want one, then you can absolutely do that. Sarcophagus, trash, and it can be gotten somewhere else. Mantis. I'm trying to remember if the refinery unlocks before the ship or not. Like, if you need the ship to unlock the refinery, then okay, get it. But if, the refinery's already unlocked, then don't get the Mantis. You don't need it. You can just use other ships. Defiant. Some of you have been watching my videos for a while. You know I hate the Defiant. It wasn't strong enough. It should have been stronger. It's just the way it was made and the way the progression is. Now look, if you starting the jar and loop from scratch and you were able to get to Defiant in a reasonable amount of time, would it be good for you within the loop? Maybe. But I never had that problem. Did I have my G4 rares yet? I didn't have my G4 rares yet. I think I had my Valdor. Maybe I did have the Pilum. I think I did have the Pilum. I had the Pilum and the Valdor. And then, kind of in the middle of that month, I think I got my Katinga. So, I wasn't swapping one of them out for the Defiant. I only use the Defiant to boost the Cerrito. It's only good for Armadas. Cerrito is just good. So, again, Monavine, I feel like you can get that better in territories. Voyager, because you can get some prints from territory, and honestly, the regular path for it, killing the Hirogen Hunter Elite guys, or whatever the fuck they are, I just don't think it's worth event store currency. Titan, I got my Titan through the event store some time ago. I don't even remember how long ago. I don't regret it. Because what is the other option? Use Explore credit? Nah, I'm good. I want to save my Explore credit. Because I use the shit out of those. So I ain't got to do all them other dumbass loops. So I use event store currency on here. And it had to be almost a year ago now. Because my Titan is like tier 10. Gorn Eviscerator here. If you don't have one yet, I highly recommend considering to do a few pulls here. because it's a bitch of a fucking grind to get this stupid corn eviscerator. I don't know. I can't remember how many stupid weeks. It wasn't even 10. It was like 14 or 15 weeks or something stupid like that. And it took too long. Way too long. So, speeding that process up definitely be beneficial for you. Last but not least, we'll get to the officers. The real moneymaker of the event store, anyway. Start with the epics, as usually do, to try to get them out of the way. You can see I am 0 for 24 for tier 3 of Naismith. No, I'm not going to get any. You do get a few when his event comes around, the Saris event, so that's why I'm at 0. Excuse me. They're expensive, I think. 6,000 for one shard. I mean, think about some of these events that are paying you out 6,000 or 9,000, right? 6 to 9,000. Oh, here you go. Here's one officer shard. Oh, cool. Thanks for the reward. It's not that good. I think it's a terrible exchange rate. I will tell you this. Dojas Torah, the reason why her bar is a little green here is because I bought a few. I got it written down right here. 6. I was 6 shy of a tier up. Yeah, it's okay to buy, especially if you're in the single digits, right? 6, 7, 8, 9. It's worth that many for the tier up. It really is. I mean, especially this one, right? Because I think for the most part, we like this officer. But any more than that, 20, 30, if you're 20 or 30 away, to me it's too much. The price just isn't there. But a few shards, sure. Laliari, I think she's kind of a terrible officer. I mean, increase your apex barrier in wave defense. Sure. I don't know. Sure, it's useful. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not useful, but do you really need it? Is it really changing the outcome of the battle? For me, no. It's not changing anything. Is it helping? Sure. Are my repairs cheaper? Sure. Of course, I am at where I am at in my progression, and you are at where you are at. Maybe it'll be different for you. To a certain extent, I feel like she's too niche. Only good at wave defense, and only good if you actually use the Omega 13. Right? Toli? What is his name? Toli? Something like that. Gets synergy with Dojas Torah. And he is essentially founder or changeling Kira, decreasing all armada and invading entity. Yay. Mitigation stats by 200% of total officer defense. Now, I got him at tier 2. Yeah, because I bought some from the event store. Tier 1, he's 100. Tier 2, he's 200. Tier 3, he's 300. 1, 2, and 3 times your officer defense. That's how much he's taking away in mitigation from an armada. Sounds pretty good to me. Yeah. Of course, at the same time, man, it's what sucks about them not giving us the rare officers. Now we have to spend a whole bunch just to unlock these assholes. Alexander Dane, officer ability increases the loot when you use a protector in the mirror universe. Meh. Because a whole bunch of researches that boost the shit out of that. So another 2 or 3 times isn't going to do a whole lot. But increasing your impulse speed as a below deck ability, something I've been asking for a while. Because it was one of the last dominoes to fall, if you will, it was one of the last abilities that we didn't have below deck. What is there now? Shield absorption. Shield regeneration. shield stripping, maybe, from below deck. Other than that, we got them all. Because there's only so many abilities you can really make. Who doesn't want to have more speed and not have to sacrifice a bridge officer? Lots of people. Lots of people. Also, it's Alan Rickman here, alright? So, it's like, what do you want? You want more impulse speed on everything, or do you want less mitigation by an armada? Well, I want both of them. I want both of them at like tier 3 or 4. Of course. Of course I want that. Of course, they're only rare officers, right? They're not the epic officers. Oh, I know what I forgot. And I forgot because I can't see it. Fleet commanders. There were some fleet commanders in here. Now, when I came early in the month, the only two I saw were 7 of 9 as a fleet commander and Janeway. Were there others? Don't know. Okay? If it's Kirk or Spock, don't waste the event store currency on it. You can get them elsewhere. The cutest, no, you can get them from the Borg event, so I say no. I don't think they wouldn't have had Lorca in here. Then I don't know if Sloane was in there. I feel like Sloane you can get from the Section 31 store really easily. So I would say no there. So really it's Janeway or 7 of 9. Now to a certain extent, since I finished off 7 of 9, now I almost have nothing from incursion stores that I want. Which is fine. But at the same time, I needed 7. So I spent the 7,000 currency. Or, how did I write it down? 8, I'm sorry. I needed 8. I needed 7 of 9 shards. So I spent the 8,000 currency. Because they were like 1,000 per shard. That's a fairly good deal. Now, to a certain extent, it might matter how many Fleet Commander slots you have. And oh, by the way, I did buy the slot, so that's why I don't see the slot. So if the slot's there, yeah, I would say the Fleet Commander slot's a big ticket thing that you really want to consider getting, if not, just kidding. Between 7 of 9 and Janeway, there are a few abilities there that are really good, and there are a few abilities, in Janeway and 7 of 9's trees that I just looked at and I said, this is complete fucking trash. You look at 7 of 9, increase data mining speed? Are you high? Increase isogen mining speed. What? Why? What? Okay. Whatever. But again, there's a few of them that, are very useful. Especially, let's say, 7 of 9, because she can increase the amount of command center building parts. I don't know what the hell they're called. Can increase that every day. So yeah, I did that. And I didn't. And I maxed that ability as far as I could go. Now keep in mind, when you're increasing that ability of 7 of 9, you click it once, and then you go to the daily pool and you claim that. Because the daily pool is refreshed because it got changed. And you go back and you take 7 of 9's ability level 2, and then you go back to the daily claim and claim that. Yeah, that sounds terrible. And yeah, it was. But it's like free command center building credits. You really gonna throw them away? Yeah. Man, that was a pain in the ass. I did that 13 times. Whatever. Finally got my command center, yeah. Command center building to level 50. Took forever. But it's there. Whew. Alright, let's wrap this up. Summarize this thing here. Again, I can't see some of these things because I have them already. I'm going to assume, which probably isn't the greatest thing, that there is a Fleet Commander slot available somewhere here in the store. I do highly suggest getting that. Should be some Fleet Commanders in there. The only ones I feel like you should waste event store currency on is either Janeway or 7 of 9. And I don't recommend getting all of 7 of 9 here. Get a few to supplement what the shit you're getting from incursions. Because you don't get that much from incursions. But at the same time, you don't want to use all your event store currency on her. Any of the other Fleet Commanders, I feel like you can get somewhere else. Maybe in the ship blueprint part, get, let's say, some Gordon Eviscerator blueprints just to speed that grind up, because that was a pain point for me. It just took way too long. It's bullshit. But really, the officers are the main thing. Tully, Alexander Dane are definitely, I think, the best options, even maybe above the Fleet Commanders, but not above the Fleet Commander slot. I think if the Fleet Commander slot's there, that's a big ticket item. Having a hard time deciding who I think's better, Tully or Dane, partly because I love Alan Rickman, who doesn't, and love the impulse speed. Who doesn't want more speed? Makes hostile grinding go quicker. That's fun. I like that. At the same time, Mr. Tully over here is going to kick the shit out of more armadas for you. So, kind of sucks you got to pick, but you got to pick. Or you can, kind of split them somehow. But that's really where you want to go. Now, comment below. Again, I can't see everything, so if there is something specific, comment below and I'll give you my opinion. By all means, don't feel like you have to, just make up your own mind and that you can't ask somebody else, at least around here. By all means, ask. And what do you think is the best option in this event store? Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.